at Roots 101. It is amazing. This is Pam Stevenson's declaration for Kentucky Attorney General. And what an announcement it is going to be. This is tremendously exciting. She's a phenomenal woman who's not only a colonel, but a state representative as well. And she's decided to go for the Attorney General's office. So very, very excited about it. Here, let me hop up here a little bit. Let me give you the overview of the room. Oh boy, it is a big crowd tonight, very active, a lot of excitement in the room. A lot of media here, a lot of luminaries, a lot of celebs, local celebrities, as they say. Okay, here comes Pam, and I've got to go get plugged back in so you can hear.
Elijah in your life. You better get set up, bro. Yeah, it's that one up front. Enjoy. Hey, family, how are you? This is supposed to be. There's a knob there.
Monica has Pamela's phone. Okay, welcome. My name is Pam Stevenson Perry, and I am Pamela's younger sister, but the boss. I welcome each of you and thank you from the bottom of her heart and our hearts for coming out to support her. This is indeed the day that the Lord has made. I'll say it again. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the occasion that the Lord has created. Yes, so we thank him for his many, many blessings. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you our pastor, Reverend Alice French Johnson, who's going to be leading us in prayer. Alice French Johnson, I know you've heard the name. She is the illustrious pastor of the Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church. She's been second in charge at TARC for many, many years, a community activist, and just a great woman. So please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Sovereign God, thou who rules and super rules, we seek your presence in this place and your guidance for this occasion. As we enter this campaign season for elected political office, we pray that the self-interest of both the candidates and the voters will be laid aside for the common good. We pray that discernment between truth and falsehood will be clear. We thank you that your servant, Representative Pamela Stevenson, has stepped forward to run for the office of Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We are profoundly grateful that through her, we have the opportunity to be reminded of your view of what leadership looks like. We ask that you put a strong hedge of protection around Representative Stevenson. Help her to take brave stands for righteousness and justice, even when they may not be well received. Help all of us gathered here today to be ever mindful of what you said is good, to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with you. This is our prayer. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Alice French Johnson. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Trenton Shrory. Okay, video. We will be watching the video.
Hey everybody, it's Andy. I wish I could be there with you tonight, but wanted to make sure you knew that Pamela Stevenson has my full endorsement to become the next Attorney General. When I was Attorney General, we arrested more child predators than at any time in our history. We sued more opioid companies for the devastation they caused in our communities, and we launched programs around the state to find and prosecute human traffickers, to provide healing for their victims, and to better protect our seniors against all the scams that are out there. The Attorney General's office is one where you can fight for justice. As an Air Force colonel, and as a practicing lawyer, and as a state representative, Pamela Stevenson has already shown that she will fight for justice. It's time to have somebody back in that office that stands up for the people of Kentucky and not corporate interests. This puts our families above politics and is willing to do the right thing even when it's hard. As somebody who's held this job before and loves it, let me tell you, Pamela Stevenson will do an amazing job. So everybody, get ready. Get ready for this campaign. Get ready to support Colonel Stevenson. Get ready to do everything that it's going to take, because when we push and when we elect her as the next Attorney General, you are going to see some really great things. Congratulations on the launch. Let's win this together.
I'm a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel and federal civil servant. I served on active duty for 24 years and another decade as a civilian. I served at the Pentagon, at the Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe, and I've been a tank platoon leader in my early days of my military career. My friend Colonel Pamela Stevenson was in the Air Force for 27 years and achieved the rank of full colonel. As a lawyer in the Air Force, She has experience both as a prosecutor, a defense attorney, and an advisor to senior military officials on international matters and the law of armed conflict. I know Colonel Pam to be an ethical leader, and I also know of her passion for our people, our state, and for the law.
I'm endorsing Colonel Pam because she is, without a doubt, the best person for this job. The Attorney General is the people's attorney, and I can think of no one more suited to speak for the people of Kentucky and to fight for the people of Kentucky than Colonel Pam.
I am State Representative Katura here, and I am here to Pamela Stevenson to be our next Attorney General in Kentucky. She has spent her whole life and career fighting for Americans, and I believe that she's going to bring that same energy and trust and accountability to the state of Kentucky.
Hi, Representative Daniel Grossford here, asking you to join me in supporting my friend, Colonel Pam Stevenson, for Attorney General. Pam Stevenson is a proven fighter, never afraid of a major challenge, and has dedicated her career to the service of others. I can think of no one more well-suited for this office.
I believe that justice, pursuit of it, is central to my role as a minister. One of the people that I met along the way, and who has become a friend of mine, who shares so many of the same kinds of commitments to justice and peace, is Colonel Pamela Stevenson. She very much reminds me of someone I've also worked with, Reverend William Barber, in her commitment to put into action this pursuit of justice. The Attorney General is the person who represents our highest ideals about justice. And I don't know anyone more committed to those ideals than Colonel Pamela Stevenson.
My name is Marilyn Darcy. I am here to support my friend Pamela Stevenson for Attorney General. She will bring intelligence, empathy, competence to the Attorney General's office. And I would urge everyone on the stage to support Pamela Stevenson.
I'm a young Democrat, a former captain in the United States Army, and I'm a former student at the Louisville Brandeis School of Law. I'm here to endorse Pam Stevenson for Attorney General. I met Pam while I was a student at the Brandeis School of Law. I can recall it pretty vividly. I was sitting down on a bench, Pam walked by and gave me a finger. Hey, come here, you. She walked over, I walked up to her, and that's when she began to talk to me about leadership, things that I should be doing. She gave me advice for life. Told me that I was formerly in the military, and we hit it off from there. Pam is a leader with experience. Not only did she serve time in the United States Air Force JAG Corps, she taught in the Brandeis School of Law, she served in the Kentucky State House, and now she's seeking more.
I want to encourage everyone to vote for my friend Pam Stevenson. I've worked with Pam Stevenson for several years. I can tell you that her commitment to Kentucky exceeds anything anyone else to do. Pam is just hardworking and just a dedicated individual. I'm encouraging everyone this May and November to support Pam Stevenson for Attorney General.
I endorse Pamela Stevenson because I know her and I know the value that she brings to the office she seeks. In fact, she's bringing the value that she's demonstrated in the Kentucky General Assembly. You know, if you look at her background, you can really get a really true picture of her. I mean, she's a leader. She's a worker. She's a thinker. She's an individual that doesn't only think about herself, she thinks about others. She brings deep knowledge and value to the area of Attorney General. It's a perfect fit for her. It's a perfect fit for her and our community. And by community, I mean the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Colonel Pam will be the people's lawyer.
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 What a beautiful video. Let's give Pam a round of applause again. Yes. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Trenton Shorey, the president of the Young Democrats DuPont Manual. High School and Reverend Stacia Bussey of the Hope Village.
Yes, my name is Trenton Schroring, 17 years old, DuPont Manual class of 2024. I am glad to be here. In my position as president of the Young Democrats Association, I have had the chance to talk to countless young people, to organize with them, to amplify their voices, and all of them are demanding a leader like Colonel Pam Stevenson. We all see the same issues in our community of politicians and leaders that are short-sighted, that don't care about the future, that only care about their own self-interests. Why do you think there are still corporations that are allowed to pollute our land, our water, and our air? It's because of the money that they keep pumping into these leaders' pockets. Why do you think that our society is still allowed to progress with institutions that are inherently racist, sexist, ableist, and classist? It's because those systems work for the benefit of many of these leaders. They like to defer problems to the next generation, but the next generation is here. I hear from them every day, and we are not going to stand for that kind of behavior anymore. Colonel Pam Stevenson will not work for her own self-interests. She will work for the interests of all the people of Kentucky, those that are living today and those that are yet to be born. She will do the right thing for all of us, not because it benefits her, but because it is the moral and just thing to do. She has integrity, she has ambition, she has passion, she has experience, and that more than entitles her to be the people's lawyer. We need a future with Colonel Pam Stevenson in a position of leadership, and we need countless more to follow her example. In school every day, we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. One nation under God with liberty and justice for all. We demand a future where we say that pledge knowing that it is true. In our school, we study the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. We demand a future where the promises of our nation's founding are fulfilled. And last Monday, we were off of school to celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We demand a future where his dream is not just a dream, but a fact of life. And I want to... Thank you. And I demand a future where I can die knowing that the world is better than it was when I was born, and Colonel Pam Stevenson is necessary for that. I will be 18 this October. I will vote in my first election, and that vote will be for Colonel Pam Stevenson. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
See an up-and-coming leader in that young man. Thank you so much. All right, I'd like to introduce you at this time to former Representative Joni Jenkins. This awesome young lady served in the House of Representatives for over 27 years, and she did an amazing job serving her constituents. Please join me in welcoming such a beautiful soul, Ms. Joni Jenkins.
Thank you so much. Boy, I always get to follow, you know. What an amazing young man. And look around this room at the excitement that's here for Colonel Pam. Look at the diversity here. But we've got folks who are young, older, like me, all across this community. We are seeing people come together, just like we did last fall when we elected new leadership here in Louisville, Kentucky, with Mayor Craig Greenberg and the person I get to introduce. I've known Morgan McGarvey for 20 years. He and I were minority floor leaders, he in the Senate, me in the House, and you will not find a better person to represent us in Washington. He loves this community, he loves the people of this community, and at the end of the day, Morgan McGarvey is always going to do the right thing. So please welcome to the mic, our new Congressman Morgan McGarvey.
And let's hear one more time for Joni Jenkins, who has been an awesome champion for Louisville for the last 30 years. This is incredible. Welcome, everyone. This is incredible to see so many people here to see this energy. I think there are 20, 25 more people who actually got blown away down the street that couldn't get in here tonight. So thank you guys for coming out on a cold, windy night. But I know why you did it. Because Pamela Stevenson is the real deal. Let me tell you a little something about Colonel Pam Pam, as my kids call her. She is the epitome of a servant leader. She is a soldier who knows how to fight the biggest fights. She is an ordained minister who knows how to display her faith. She is a mother of Thomas and Tamay, the wife of Thomas, who cares about her family. She is a nonprofit lawyer who looks out for the less fortunate. She is a hell of a legislator who knows when to fight and when to find compromise. And most importantly, Pamela Stevenson is my friend. She is the person you call when you need somebody. Either it's just to vent or you need somebody to stand up and fight for you. Pamela Stevenson is that person. I've watched her in the state legislature. Let me tell you, Frankfort is not an easy place. All right? I watched Pamela Stevenson as a freshman representative, one of 2 black women in the entire General Assembly, a member of the super minority. She passed her first bill into law. They hazed her, right? They hazed her. They even said, we'll pass this bill if you can stand up on the floor and sing the Air Force song. So Colonel Pam Pam stood up and sang the Air Force song, knocked them all down in their seats. They passed her bill. She brought tons of resources and money through the budget process back to her district. She continues to run for the right reasons. And she is going to go and she is going to be an incredible Attorney General for the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. As a baby lawyer, I worked as a young assistant attorney general. I see J. Michael Brown here, who worked as the deputy attorney general under Governor Beshear. Right? That office, guys, that office has such incredible power to do good. It needs to be in the hands of someone who's going to wield that power to do good.
Right.
And that person is Pamela Stevenson, the Attorney General. That's where our consumer protection comes. That's where we fight for fairness and equality to make sure our laws are protecting everyone. That's where we stand up to corporations and put people over profits. That's where we make sure that our laws are constitutional. She is running for the right reasons because she is a person of family, a person of faith, a person of fight, a person who's looking out for the less fortunate, a person who is a friend to all Kentuckians. She's going to be amazing, and we got to get her there. So take this energy tonight. Donate to Pamela Stevenson so she's got the resources. Knock on doors. Go make sure you talk to your friends and neighbors. Don't let this be the end. Let this truly be the beginning so that next November we are electing Colonel Pamela Stevenson to be General Pamela Stevenson and be our voice in the Attorney General's office. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Senator. That was an awesome, inspirational speech. So, with that being said, we're going to move forward, and I have the honor of introducing the first man I've ever loved. And as a teenager, I've loved a few. You know how the codes fall in and out of love. But this is the first man I've ever loved. And I'm trying not to get emotional, but I want to tell you the backstory. This young man at 16 or 17 became a father, finished high school, got married, and is still married to the same woman after 65 years. stayed the course because back in the 60s, it was really difficult and the odds were against him to be a successful father, a successful anything, young black man with a house full of kids. But he stayed the course because he was a God-fearing man. He stayed the course. He never, ever left us. He insisted that we be educated. And when I went to the University of Louisville for the first time, I did not want to go, and my counselor told me, you don't have to be here. I went home and told my dad, did you know that college was not mandatory? He said, who told you that? Oh, it's mandatory if you're going to live here. So I went back and finished, and I thank God for that. But I'd like to take this time to introduce you to my father. And before I do that, I would like to say my mom, her name is Dorothy Stevenson. She doesn't have the best of health, but she's still here. She's still supporting Pamela. So Mom, if you're listening anywhere, shout out to you. We thank you. But Dad, Kenneth J. Stevenson, come on forward.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kenneth Jesse Stevenson. Pamela is my oldest daughter. And together, Dorothy and I, of course, I had to write things down because you get 81 years old, it's hard to remember your name. But as Kim said beforehand, Dorothy is not here due to some illnesses. She's here in spirit. And we married young, had 4 kids, Pam, Kim, Jeff, and Jason. But we instilled in those kids, we tried to, faith and loyalty. And as a family, we always had prayer before dinner. We always had a house full of people, in-laws. Some might have been outlaws, I don't know. But wives and I sometimes work 2 or 3 jobs to make sure that the kids had an education and to make sure that they had the right upbringing. And we just, since Pam was 2, we had a nickname for her. I used to call her Gunfighter. Needless did I not know at that time what it stood for. But Pam had always tried to help somebody, even when her siblings were cutting up. They wouldn't even let her go because they said, you're going to go home and tell. But she's always had the attitude of helping family members, her siblings, and anybody that she could. And I said, this is strange. This is awful strange. But it gives me, it just blows my heart up to know that this office that she's running for, when I was a young man, I couldn't even walk on the streets of where she's trying to go. I couldn't even walk on the streets in the neighborhood that I lived in. But I told them, it doesn't matter where you live, it's how you live. Needless to say, we're from a large family. My mother had 6 sisters and 7 brothers. And we've always been a close-knit family, always. Invited everybody in that needed something, I wanted something. And, you know, I'll be remiss to say that I am a deacon at Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church. It was my pastor that did the prayer here. Matter of fact, I'm proud to say I am chairman of the deacon board. Not saying that we are child of God, not saying that we'll never make a mistake and fall, but we've always taught the kids, nothing wrong with getting knocked down. You get back up. You get back up. And Pamela has always gotten back up, even when she started her family and she was running into problems in the military. And she would call home and ask me questions. I said, well, what did you tell me you was going to be? I said, I want to be a lawyer. I think they wanted her to fly airplanes or something. I don't know what they wanted. And she stuck to her guns. Needless to say, I thought something's wrong with this child. She always willing to help. She got out of the military and opened a law firm to help folk that didn't have any money. I said, what? How's this gonna work? Needless to say, somewhere or another, she made it work. Needless to say, her mother was always there to back her. I guess dragging dad along, but I'm wondering where it's gonna lead to. But she is a person that would fit right into this particular job that she's running for. And she will not back down from a fight. That's the reason we call it, she will not back down. She'll find a way to solve the problem, beat the problem, or create a way that will be a happy medium in there somewhere. And Pamela, you know, we're just thankful. We're just thankful for the neighborhood that we live in. We're thankful that she's going to be, trust me, the next Attorney General of the state.
Okay. Join us in giving Pamela, better known as Pam, a great big round of applause. Come on down, Pam. She's a little height challenge.
Just looking in the faces of the promise of America. First, give an honor to God, through whom all things have always been possible. And then you have to permit me to say some thanks for the people who are here. Like you took time out of your day to be here. I see Al, I see people I didn't know were here. I need to be on this step a long time ago. I want to say thank you to First Roots 101. Give it up for them. Thank you for my elected colleagues who traveled from far to be here. It's already clapped. And then for my pastor, my church family who are here, and my mom and my dad. My sister. I have a lot of good friends here, and I love you. And the last things I'll say before I tell you what we're gonna do is to the team who listens to me say, I want what I want when I want it. And smile when you do it. That would be Stefan, my campaign manager. Rebecca. Beth. Emily. And Will. See, they bought into what I'm going to ask you to buy into tonight. They bought into a world that works for everyone. They bought into a Kentucky that's at the top of the list and not at the bottom. They bought into children being loved everywhere. And they're willing to do the work for it. Now we're here together to start doing that work. I have to look down because if I don't do all of this, Rebecca might get mad at me. Where's Rebecca? Thank you. But this is the beginning of something new. It is not business as usual. If we go business as usual, we're going to march right down that list that they have for us. No rights, no freedoms, no nothing, but work so they can be rich. And that's not what we're about. We said we're a government for the people, by the people, to serve the people. We say that in America, the land of the free, the land of the brave, we will fulfill that promise. Now, foundations are a very, very powerful thing. Everybody needs a strong foundation. And you are my foundation. I can't win this race by myself. Yes, I am a strong Black woman. But to make the difference that we want to make for all Kentuckians, it's going to take all Kentuckians to make the difference. What if Dr. King had stopped when he was spat on, when he was cussed out, when he was arrested? What if he said, that's too much, that's too hard? What if Mandela, after being released from prison after 27 years for something he didn't do, didn't even get a trial, had said, I'm going to go home and eat cakes and bonbons? See, God requires something of each one of us. And if you're listening to God, he's already told you what it is that you need to do so that we can fulfill his promise. So that means there's something for you to do. We can't rely on or keep watching what they're doing, thinking, oh, that's pretty bad, and then roll over and watch TV. I don't care if you help me. Well, you got to do. I need all of it. But if my flavor is not your cup of tea, you find your flavor and go do the work. You have no right to complain, to give advice when you're not doing the work. There are people that have done harder things. I imagine Rosa Parks was terrible. And had no access to a justice system. When you look at Harriet Tubman and all the people who said, I'm going to be free, you're going to be free, and we're going to walk with no shoes, no clothes, no food, and we're going to rely on the Lord to give us what we need as we travel across this land. See, that's the stuff we're made of. And we forget. So here's the challenge tonight. Don't forget. We've got this one life. One life. There's no accident that you're here, right now, Lucy. It's no accident. And if it were easy, anybody could do it. You've got to look deep. You've got to look at the end of your story. You've got to look and say to yourself, and if it's your God or your best friend, what is my life for? Don't wait till you're 90 thinking I wish I could have, would have, should have. We have a unique opportunity. A unique opportunity. So when they trace, when the world turned around, 100 years from now, when they look at this history and they say, what were they thinking of in 2016? What were they thinking of in 2023? What were they thinking of when they tried to destroy democracy? They will look to us and say, but there was a remnant. There was a group of people who said, not on my watch. And they did the work. And yes, Rebecca, I missed some things. Let me just take a peek. Oh, yeah. You know, it is. My mom and my dad taught me and gave me my faith. See, fear and faith can't exist in the same place. What if last year, when all the media was saying, it's going to be a big red wave, the Dems are gone? What if we had laid down because we listened to them and not God? What if we had laid down and not done the work? If I ask anybody in any parts of the country, of this state, we have people from rural Kentucky here. Marshall came. There's some people that travel to be here. If I ask anybody in rural Kentucky, urban Kentucky, they want the same things. They want their lives to matter. They want to have food. They want to have shelter. They want to make sure their kids do better than they do. So why can't we work on those things? Why can't we work on victims' rights, making sure that people that have crimes committed against them are made whole and complete? Why can't we work on the prison reform so that when we put somebody away for years and they come back out better than they were? Why can't we work on the fraud that's committed against elderly so that they can live the rest of their life as the best of their life? And why is it that we built a system to house children with no parents, and then we put them in bad situations and we know they're being abused, but we do nothing about it but say, that's too bad? And why do we let children age out of foster care into nothing? And why I'm at it, why do we build a world that doesn't include the differently abled, that doesn't include the mentally challenged? We put a man on the moon, and then we put a motorcycle on the moon so we can take care of these basic human needs. It wasn't a motorcycle, it might have been a lawnmower. We just have the purpose in our hearts to do what's right by people. My mom and dad used to say, go in that room and don't come out until you make up. We need to go in that room and don't come out till we have a plan where all people can live in the state of Kentucky, and all people are recognized, and all people with different abilities can live their life, and all people can be loved and appreciated. I'm going to leave you with this. And you ought to be very happy, a preacher, a lawyer, a professor, and a politician, keeping it short, unheard of. When I was in the military, it was oftentimes very difficult. And my family sustained me with my faith. I was told by a commanding officer that I didn't know where I'd been the last 3 years, but it wasn't law school, so stop saying it. I was told it was not the Air Force's fault that you are pregnant, so we're not going to pay for you to have that baby. I was told so many different things in so many different ways that was meant to stop me. But God, don't let people stop you. Somebody says boo, and you say boo boo. Be who you were designed to be. And that's how we win together. If you're in it by yourself, you're not doing anything but something for yourself. Join somebody, join some party, join something, and work together. I recommend you join this one. The last thing is, my son. Where's my son? My son, he's my baby. He lives in Cincinnati. He has a job. You love them. They grow up and, they go live their life. And I'm glad he's doing well. And his sister lives in Atlanta. But they've had to share me with the world for a long time. And my promise to them and to my husband is that it will be worth their while. That this world will be different when we finish. That everybody around us would experience love. And that we would get the job done. I ask you to stand with me. I asked you to dig deep, be uncomfortable. Dr. King wasn't comfortable in the Birmingham jail when he was consoling other people. Be uncomfortable. Have your life be used for a purpose that you say is worthy. I'm just looking, because for the rest of my life, I'm going to remember this moment. I don't care what happens after this. Oh, I see some people that I get in trouble with when I see them. I appreciate all the people that I haven't seen and haven't been able to greet. And I just want to look at you one more time and say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. See, we got it real easy here. We have it that people can hate and they don't even have to know you. Dr. Jones! Skipper! We have it that people can hate for any reason, and we accept hate. We accept the craziness that goes on. We accept that it's all right to hate somebody because they're short. We accept that it's all right to hate somebody because they live in a different part of town. We accept hate. People can hate for any reason, and we're okay with it. So what I invite you to do tonight is love for any reason. No matter where you go, who you see, what they say to you, love them. I've had some horrible things said to me, and I love them. Not because of who they are, but because of who I am. Be someone that spreads love and joy. Be someone that gets it done so that Kentucky can be at the top and not the bottom, because that means that every family is taken care of, and you have lived a life that's well worth living by making the community better. I love you. God bless Kentucky. God bless America. And God bless the men and women of the United States military. Woo! Oh, we can do better than that. Let's get it. Way to go. What a wonderful speech from our next Attorney General, Pamela Stevenson. As we come to a close tonight, I'm honored to thank you, each of you, for being here. Thank you. I know your lives are busy. We'll end our program tonight with the benediction from Reverend Stachel.
Bussy of the Hope Village.
How y'all doing today?
Woo!
Some people are already leaving, but I'll say this quickly. Grant us, Lord God, a vision of your world as your love would have it. A world where the weak are protected and none go hungry or poor. A world where the riches of creation are shared and everyone can enjoy them. A world where different races and cultures live in harmony and mutual respect. A world where peace is built with justice and justice is guided by love. Give us the inspiration and the courage to build that world. Let us not be afraid to defend the weak because of the anger of the strong, nor afraid to defend the poor because of the anger of the rich. Show us where love and hope and faith are needed, and use us to bring people to those places. So open our eyes and our ears that we may be this coming day be able to do some of the work of peace for thee. For united we stand, and divided we fall. Go in peace.
All right, you guys, that was awesome.